Hello and welcome everyone. Hopefully my audio is working well at the beginning of the stream today. I know on Saturday we had a little bit of issue at the beginning of the stream and I had to restart the software that I use for broadcasting because it was getting the audio a little bit weird. But I am hoping that if there are any issues, you all will let me know right now and we will get it sorted at the beginning of the stream. So hello, welcome everyone. My name is Brendan. Welcome to Dev Chatter. Hopefully you are all here and interested in seeing some code, discussing it, talking about it, and potentially joining in and writing some code yourself. You are all welcome to do so while we're here on Dev Chatter. You can contribute code live, you can contribute code between our streams, you can have fun messing around with your own code, and just chat with us while you're doing that. All is welcome and fair game. Let me go ahead and get our bot running. So that we've got that while we do the stream here. So for anybody that doesn't know, the chat bot that we use here on Dev Chatter, which you'll just see has popped into the chat and said hello. It will not be what we're working on today, but it is developed here live on the channel. So the majority of the code written in there is done on stream. It is written in C# using .NET Core. It's a console application right now, but we're probably going to move that into a web application just for configuration and management at some point. But realistically, all of its code is in class libraries. So realistically, we could put it in a GUI application, a web application. It could stay a console app. Any of these options are totally fine. Just depends on what we want to do with it. So, let's see. I'm going to take a little bit of time. I am going to talk about the project that we started just recently, and I want to talk a little bit about our upcoming streams. I'm not going to take too much time, but I do want to make sure that we get a little bit of an intro in here, because I know a lot of people are going to be joining the stream here in the first few minutes, and I want to give them a chance to hop in without missing much of the code for the people that do get here when we start. Okay, I mentioned my name is Brendan. This channel is Dev Chatter. We stream 4 times a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Today is Monday, May 28th. In the United States, it is Memorial Day, so not a cheerful holiday, but one where people tend to have fun anyway. I've already been out, had a picnic, enjoyed a little bit of the nice weather we've got here. And welcome, developers that were lurking around in the C# Fritz channel. Hopefully you are looking for some interesting programming to do today. Because if you are, you're in the right place. So welcome. Hopefully you are enjoying a nice day wherever you are. Obviously no guarantees there, as weather changes everywhere. So a couple of things that I want to talk about. Actually, I need to update this, which I will do right now while we talk about it. So, I keep our schedule over on the GitHub for Dev Chatter. So I'm going to go ahead and link it in chat there. It's github.com/devchatter. And I'm going to do this. We're going to copy that, because that is now this week. This is now next week. And do we need the week after next? Nope. Okay, or we just need the week after next. So this week, next week, week after next. So I just wanted to update those. I want to talk for a second about our schedule. So this week, today, we are going to be continuing on our rock, paper, scissors competition application. So essentially, the goal of this application is to make it so you can submit your own bot to compete in the rock, paper, scissors game. So we're going to call this rock, paper, scissors and I'm going to say boom competition, because we're not following the standard rules for rock, paper, scissors. We added an element that makes it a little bit more strategic. So there's some, it's not just a random, what do you think your opponent's going to throw kind of thing. It's what do you think they're going to throw, but there is some variance in what they're able to throw, so you can do it intelligently. And we might get an early cat on the stream. We'll see. I know some people will be excited by that. He's trying to knock over my green screen right now. Okay, so I I'm going to update this. No, I don't do any standard pull requests for my informational section. Okay, so that's what's coming up. Later in the week, on Thursday, we are going to have a guest pair programming with us. So Jimmy Bird will be here, and he will be writing some code with us on Thursday. So that'll be fun. And then on Saturday at 1 p.m., we're going to be doing our statically generated websites. So we're going to essentially look at YMIO with its creator, Dave Glick, and he is going to show us how to set up statically generated websites. So the reason I picked this tool is because YM is built in C#, and so it's actually something that we could contribute to. And I want to have a statically generated site for DevChatter that, you know, we and anybody else can contribute to. And one of the best ways to do that is to use a statically generated site that will automatically push out. So we're going to talk about that on Saturday. So that'll be fun. And then we'll talk about the stuff coming up in later weeks when we get to them. So that's what's on the plan for this week. Okay, so we're looking at Rock, Paper, Scissors, Boom. I'm going to give like the 30-second intro to it. Essentially, rock, paper, and scissors are going to work as normal in this game. You will get the option to also throw water balloons, which I'll explain why those are important in a minute, because you also get the ability to throw a stick of dynamite. If you throw a stick of dynamite, you can only, first off, you're limited to only 100, so you're going to play 1,000 rounds. Your bot will play each opponent 1,000 times in rock, paper, scissors, and then you can throw dynamite. If you do, you can only throw it 100 times, so the trick will be knowing when to use those effectively. The water balloons only defeat dynamite, but dynamite will defeat any of the others. And all the standard ones, rock, paper, and scissors, will beat water balloon. So water balloon is the worst move you can make because it only beats one thing and it's a limited thing. So the trick is figuring out predicting when your opponent's going to throw dynamite and making sure that you get that water balloon, and when you think they're going to throw a water balloon, throw dynamite, and it's kind of like psyching out the other bot. So that's a little bit of what it is. So we're going to set this up so that anyone that wants to play can contribute their own bot. And if this idea sounds familiar, it is actually based on an old, it's based on Rock, Paper, Azure, which might be a decade old at this point. I don't remember exactly when they did it, but it was whenever Azure was coming out, and it was pretty early. Someone came up with the idea of doing Rock, Paper, Azure as this game that would get people to load things into Azure. I thought it was a cool idea. I'm not going to force people to put things on Azure specifically for this. We're going to make it so you can put it anywhere. We're going to make it so that you use a web API to submit your moves. So that's actually what we're going to be setting up today. I want to start building our sample web API project that anyone's going to be able to take. And just essentially take that project, build their bot into it, deploy it somewhere, and then that's going to be what is going to run. And they're going to essentially give us that URL, we'll call to it, and get their moves. So that is how this is going to work. I want to take a look at the pull request that we got yesterday and take a look at this real quickly. So pro tip for anybody that is actually interested and wants to contribute to an open source project, we have a handful that have that you could contribute to and are fairly contained, simple projects that are actually great for people that want to start contributing to open source projects, don't know where to start. You can talk with us about that, and we can help you do it. If you are interested in that kind of thing, hop on our Discord, and there are a number of us that do contribute to this project there, and we can help you along and explain things and talk to you about what it is you want to do with the project as well. Okay, so let's think about HTML and the README. Okay, so I had changed the README file to change from the word bomb to dynamite to better match with what's in our code. And it looks like this PR is to fix that in the About page so it matches as well. So I'm going to approve this without, much else. The only change there, as I could see from that, was just that text. So I am actually just going to merge this in and let that one go. And then now we can hop over to our project. So let's take a look at what we've got over here. So the structure of this right now is pretty simple. We haven't yet started storing the bots in the database, so there is no data connection yet. We have our web server here. This is... the reason I called it the server is because I kind of feel like those are clients connected to it. Now maybe we won't like that name eventually, maybe we'll rename it. But it felt like this is the server that you connect to, and it's possible we could have more than one Rock Paper Boom server with different rules or something. So maybe there's like a server where you're, you know, restricted to certain rule sets or something. Maybe we adjust the game for some of them. Who knows? But for now, this is what we are working with. Okay. We have a unit test project also for testing our code. We TDD'd a lot of the beginning stuff that we put in here. A couple of things don't have it. Obviously, we don't have tests on our model objects, as they are basically just, you know, they're pretty. It's a pretty anemic model right now, but we're just at the start of the project, so I wouldn't worry too much about that yet. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get started. I believe I'm in a branch right now. We have model changes, which was where I put this in. I want to send that as a pull request and send that in as well, as I think it was a pretty easy change. So let's go ahead, get this out of the way. I want to get this in just so that we can work off of master with the code that we're doing today and have this adjustment in there. So it looks like all I did was rename bot ranking to record. Bot ranking to record. Bot record. Now I know that's a small change to have as a pull request, but I want to get that in there, and the reason I think it's important is I don't want this to spread around, as this is going to be a branch that gets used. This is a class that gets used a lot, so I want this branch to merge in and be done with. For anyone who doesn't know, we do have a little bit of fun on this channel. So 1 second, I need a drink. All right. So now we're going to wait for the CI build to continue on that. But we're going to go ahead and work on this as if it were completed, and we'll get ourselves on the right branch in a minute. So what we're going to need to do is we need to set up a new project. Now I'm not going to create this project just yet because I don't want things to break on it. So it's going to be one of these, an ASP.NET Core. It's going to be, we're going to name it, and we are going to choose... Oh, Sushinator. No, you're talking about this one? Yeah, that music, Sushinator. It's fantastic music. That is the Pepsi Man song. It is from a video game that Pepsi put out. Kind of hilarious that it exists. Oh, awesome timing then, Sushinator. I got you greeted by the Pepsi Man music. I mean, I also could have, you know, gotten you greeted by other music.
Here we go.
So, I mean, like I've got a whole bunch of things on my Stream Deck that I don't usually use. I mostly just use Pepsi Man, and then I occasionally talk about how, you know, some people missed the stream, and it was not fun when they missed the stream. Those are probably my two favorites. Maybe this one. Okay. I really want that to finish so I can do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to jump over to the master branch, and I'm going to work in here for now. And I think that piece will merge in just fine, so I won't have to deal with it as long as I'm not using it yet. So I'm going to make a new project that's an ASP.NET Core project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this, what, bot template maybe? Rock, paper, scissors, boom, bot template. Maybe example bot? We'll call it example bot. how you understand all this? Understand which thing? I can, let me know what thing you want me to explain, and I will. Gladly. And, welcome. Thank you for following. So, you're learning C#. Okay, so, yes. Don't let anyone tell you that learning new things is an easy thing. It is always difficult. And once you wrap your head around it, it is going to make sense. So that is the one piece I'll tell you, is it's not easy, but once you get it, then you'll understand it, and you will enjoy it. So, what I'm going to do for this is I am going to choose ASP.NET Core, and I think I want to do a web application is what I'm going to choose. I really do have options for what I want to pick here, but I think I want to do this one, because I think it's going to be more interesting, since we're not doing a full API, to just have a single file that is going to do this work. So if you are trying to learn C#, I have some recommendations for where to do that. Blooper, welcome. I'm assuming based on purr, meaning that you're a fan of cats. I've got one down here right now that's knocking my green screen around, trying to knock it over. What's the best way to host my bot? Zelvixidian. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to look into how we can host these with Azure on like a free Azure account, because I'm hoping that we can get away with that. If we can't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into a way of getting these to run in their own Docker containers, so that potentially we could just spin it up, run your bot within its own container, and do it that way. So it'll be one of those. So I apologize, I had to step away for a second. My cat wants to make an appearance on the stream. So, congratulations everyone, it's now a cat stream. He decided he wanted to claw at things. He's such a sweet kitty though. Yeah, everybody at home says this is the best cat in the world. They're big fans of the cat. So, yeah, that's right, Jolie. This is what happens when you cause trouble. You get picked up and get love and hugs and cuddles. Yes, it's Cat Sharp here. Okay. What I'm going to do with this, so once I set this up, this is an ASP.NET project that I can run, and I can go ahead and I can just view this, and it should just work as a regular ASP.NET site. I'm going to chop out some of the stuff we don't want, because we only need a few pieces of this. Oh, and I was going to mention places that you could learn C#. One of the best ones is try.net. So if you are wanting to mess around with C# and just learn some of it, like the really basics, like just learning the language, try.net is a good place to do that because you can mess around with stuff. But additionally, you could just start on some simple projects, mess around with some things. Obviously, you can watch the stream because we do a lot of C# on here, so you'll get to see how it's used. But this is one of the places because you can literally just click the run button and it runs the code. So this calculates Fibonacci numbers, for example. So, kind of cool that they were able to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the stuff we don't want in here. So first off, I am not going to have that, any of that stuff in there. I really, you know, now that I think about it, I almost should have just done an empty project. Because we don't want, like, any of this stuff for our API. So, I might get rid of pretty much everything. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and take a chance and nuke stuff. If I have to create the project again, we'll see. Oh, and I just noticed. You can see the corner right there of my green screen there, because the cat's been moving it so much. It wasn't like that at the start of the stream. But I guess he's managed to push the green screen around enough to have that show up there. So, thanks, cat. Yep. Yeah, you gotta love cats. They never cause you any trouble. We don't need CSS, JavaScript, or a lib file for that matter, because we're not going to do any of that. So let's go ahead and just nuke all that stuff for now. Goodbye. fav. Do we need a fav icon? I'm not sure we do. All right, so we have an empty www root. We have an empty pages folder. We don't have an error page anymore. I nuked it. Twitchloff, welcome. Hey, yeah. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so now that we've nuked pretty much all of that stuff, I want to see if this site still runs at all. So, because we nuked a lot of stuff. Now, there is no index page, but we're going to add that back in, kinda. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and, yes, yep, we are gonna do an API for the bot. So the API is gonna actually work backwards from the way that people might think. So the bot is gonna expose an API that the competition is going to do. Yes, I remember. You are Katrina Me. I remember this from before. Sorry, I was thinking there for a second. What are we doing? Right. Yes, I need to click Razor page. Sorry. Whenever you're like trying to think and talk at the same time, you get a little confused sometimes. Okay, so I want to put an index page on here. We do not want to use a layout page for this. We want to have the full thing in here because we're actually going to sort of... we're going to pull back the curtain a little bit and expose what things really are. So whenever I talk with junior devs, I may have mentioned this on stream before, but I used to... So in previous consulting companies I've worked for, one of the things that I like to do is most of them have some kind of internship program or something like that in the consulting firms where I work. And I usually am the person that is in charge of, I'll say, like wrangling the interns. I'm usually the one that's, figuring out what they're going to be working on, who they're going to be working with, helping them out, answering their questions and things like that. I like that. I like doing that. It's a very rewarding thing because they're learning all about all this new stuff that we all think is amazing and they're seeing for the first time. So it makes it really cool. So let me go ahead and refresh this page. I don't know if the web server is running. If it's not, okay, it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and run this again. So we're going to view the example bot. One of the things that I always like to explain to them and make sure they understand early on is the idea that ASP.NET, web forms, MVC, PHP, whatever it is you are using as your back-end server application, don't think of it as building web applications. Don't think of it as building websites. It does that, but that is not really what is going on. At the end of the day, all these programs is a fancy way of generating text files, or really just returning data. So it's a layer on top of a server, and it's usually just writing text files. So that's why when you want to do an API, you want to return JSON data or XML, or you want to return a web page. Why you can do all of that so easily from these frameworks. That's actually the reason. It's because it really is just a framework to return that stuff. There's nothing else really all that, special about it. At the end of the day, you're just returning text, and a browser interprets that as a web page. Obviously, if you link to static files, that just goes through IIS or, Kestrel or, Apache or whatever your actual server is, your application that you're running. Okay, so right now, this is what's returned on our index page. We don't care about a lot of this stuff. We don't really want to return doc.html. We want to return a JSON, some kind of JSON data. In fact, we may not even want a page at all. So I was originally thinking we'd structure it in this and we'd sort of build it this way, but maybe we don't want that at all. We might instead just do MVC, which would really simplify things. Let's see. Will staying in one page binding directly in it make it easier for JSON front-end dev as opposed to controllers? So my plan with doing this, with doing the Razor page, instead of doing a web API controller, for example, is the fact that it contains very easily, and there's no question that someone's going to ask about, you know, understanding URLs. So I want to make it simple, even for someone that does not know C# and .NET technology, to be able to use this example project. So I want to make it as minimal as possible. That's why I was looking at how to do it inside the Razor page, as I think that'll be the easiest way. Janisku, devchatter.json. And yes, happy days. Welcome Tommy Two Toes, Janisku, and AJ Ukraine, Katrina Mies, Elvixidian, Twitchloff, Sushinator, everybody else, anybody else lurking in chat who hasn't said anything, welcome. Even if I didn't say your name, I am still glad you are here and hanging out with us. You don't need to talk if you don't want to, but you are welcome to. A couple of things we want to get rid of. We want to get rid of that. Use developer exception page. That's fine when we're in development. HTTPS redirect. Use static files. Are we going to have any static files? We're not going to have any static files. Oh, actually, someone might want to do static files if they want. So, for example, you could do a rockbot as a static file. That'd be really funny, actually. Use a cookie policy. Use MVC. We could use MVC for it. In fact, that might be the way to go. Okay, so I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna set up both. Happy dev is happy chatter, right? Yes, exactly. Okay, so we're gonna set it up two ways. We're gonna set up one where we respond in here, and one where we respond over there. So in this one, we're just gonna say at whoa, at JSON. That's cool. Model dot JSON data. Okay. So there we go. So we're going to put it in JSON data, and that is where we're going to store this data for now. And actually, just to be sure, we're going to put that in there. Create property JSON data. I guess we'll make it a string. I'm not sure on that. Whether or not raisins are approved, usually not. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of so I love raisins, but I'm not a big fan of raisins and cookies. Like, I'll take the raisins out and eat them separately, because raisins are good, but it's just weird to have raisins and cookies. I never understood that one. I've replaced use static files with use file server. I don't know if it's right or not. Janisco, I think it depends on what you're wanting to do there. So I was thinking about getting rid of static files because I don't think we're going to need them for this project, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, so we need to get our JSON data, so I am going to say JSON data equals what do we want? Choice is rock. Whoop. Alright, so this is going to blow up just a little bit because we're inside of a string. We're going to say this. And yeah, I'm going to do it this way for now. So we are going to be doing a, we're going to serialize an object into this eventually, but for now I just want to write it in like that, make sure that it works. So on get, we're going to assign that value to that JSON object and make sure it appears on the page. So we're going to go over here. Actually, I don't know if it's going to build that or not. I am implementing a SignalR service, a SignalR hub. So with file server, sounds good as you're not. Okay, nope, I do need to build it. Oh, whoops, and that's going to load the wrong web page. Go ahead and do this. We are going to view this in browser. I wish C# would add support for custom embedded languages so that you could add a JSON literal at compile time support. Yeah, AJ Ukraine, that might be nice. The one concern that I would have about putting in JSON literals is that you could run into the problem that JSON literals would get added to the language, and then, like, 3 years later, we'd use something other than JSON. So that is what I would expect to have happen. Okay, so choice is rock. So that's essentially what we're going to respond with there. We might do other stuff, because the reason I made this an object instead of just returning a value is that I would expect that eventually you might want to reply with something more. So maybe you're saying, I'm playing rock, and you might be able to, tell yourself, I'm playing rock because I think they're going to play this, or something like that, report it back, or some other information. So I'm making it an object for now. So we'll see how that goes. But that essentially is how we would reply in this way of doing things. So this bot currently just chooses rock, and I'm fine with that. We'll then want to wire it up to actually work. I don't think we need to do anything more than this. I think we can just add this in. Adding an example bot implementation. But before I do that, I want to get us onto a branch. Benric example bot. Oh, actually, before I branch, I need to pull the latest. I need to pull the latest before we branch. Which means that stupid pull request branch needs to finish. AppVeyor's taken forever. Okay, questions. Updated my one Android client project to Oreos, and OneDrive said that I removed lots of things. Yeah. Welcome to OneDrive. At least it warns you when you remove a lot of files. I'm assuming invalid entries will always lose. For instance, if I play Rocky. Zelvixidian, yes. The plan right now is if you choose something that the system does not understand, we are going to interpret that as a loss. So if you do not select, I know some. So another implementation of this kind of system that I've seen before interpreted it as the worst choice. So for example, interpreting it as a water balloon, but I don't want that to be able to disable someone's bomb, luckily. So we're going to interpret those as losses. I also use JSON object for API, even if I need only one field value. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yep. AJ Ukraine, I agree completely. It is just nicer to have an object there, even if you only have a single value. For a couple of reasons. First off, you might want more than one value, and it's also nice to pull in an object that has a property instead of just, oh, we pulled in a string or something like that. It's a little bit nicer. It also makes it clearer to anyone that's looking at it that it absolutely is JSON data. Okay, so I'm going to merge this into here, delete the original branch, go back into ours. I am going to pull down the latest master, hope that it does that without any complaints, which it did. And now I am going to, well, I'm going to commit it, and then because I can always undo the commit because it's just local. So I am going to make that branch that I was talking about, which is, we're going to say Benric and example bot. Example bot, if I can type. I can't type today. Some days I can type, some days I can't type. No control over which ones. Adding an example bot implementation. Okay. So there is our example that other people should be able to reference and make use of if they want to. So this is our C# one. We have a bunch of dependencies we probably don't need that I probably want to get rid of at some point, but I'm not too worried about it just yet. I want to now build the piece on the server side that checks with this API. So now that this can respond with just rock, and only rock, first off, it's going to lose quite a bit, especially to Cleverbot, which is going to figure out very quickly to just play paper and it will win. Okay, let's hop over here, and for now, that code was just inside the back end of run the game, isn't it? So that's where we trigger all this. Dimensional lensing, hey, welcome. Okay, so we need to add one more bot and see if it works. So I'm going to call this a web API bot. And yeah, I'm calling a web API. I don't mean ASP.NET Web API. That's a separate library. That's not what I mean. I just mean web API bot. We're gonna put it in here. And for now, while I'm building this example, I'm actually just gonna hard code in the URL for this one that we're looking at, just while we get it working. So it's this one right here. I am just gonna put this in here. And my plan is when we create these bots, we're gonna pass in as a parameter what the URL, the base URL of the API. So if yours was at, some URL slash, bot API, for example, because you wanted to reuse an existing site, that's totally fine. You can do that. And it'll just be based on the root URL that we give. It is due. I have a non-recursive permutation function for rock, paper, scissors. It's obfuscated, though. I mean, if you've got something fun that you want to do with rock, paper, scissors, you are welcome to compete in the competition or help us with rock, paper, scissors if you want. Have you taken a look at any of our code that we've got here already at ISDU? Because we would welcome any contributions to this that you want to make. Ooh, and I'm actually not sure whether Web API bot can get in here. Tommy Two Toes, yes. So this is actually this is what we're building, is a tool that where you can compete in this competition. So if you want to write a bot that can play rock, paper, scissors in this game, you are welcome to do so, and so is anybody else. So if you want to keep up on our project, anybody who's in here, all the code that we do here on stream is out on GitHub. And if you want to chat with the other people that are in here, you can take a look at our Discord. It's a place where you can chat with us. There are a bunch of us that are in here. And I don't know if you guys can hear the music, but there's an ice cream truck driving by my house right now. I'm assuming you guys can't hear that music. If you can, I apologize for making you all hungry, both by mentioning the music and also making you think about it now that I've mentioned it. There'll be time for an ice cream break later. For now, it's time to code. You know what? I called this, but I didn't pass in a name, but we need to pass in the name. So we're gonna do string name, and then string API root URL. So we are going to set that property, and then this is going to be a private field here. Private read-only field there. I'm actually going to put that one up top as well. Okay. So in getDecision... Oh, good, good. Yeah, I actually just ate too. It is a holiday here that's basically... it's our Memorial Day here in the United States. So this is actually, when we honor, fallen soldiers in war and things like that. But for some reason, because it's right at the beginning of, like a summertime thing, it's common for people to do like picnics or barbecues, things like that. So it's a weird holiday to combine those things. But no complaints. It still makes it nice on a day that's not usually, that's supposed to be a less fun one. So here's what we're going to do. I don't remember what the ASP.NET 2.1 HTTP client, ASP.NET 2.1 HTTP client. Oh, you have it's a Christian holiday in Ukraine right now. Age of Ukraine, what holiday is it right now? I noticed that you just cut and pasted that property, so I wanted to tell you that's a neat thing. Hold down Alt and use the arrow keys. Yeah, Tommy Two Toes, you've mentioned that, but for some reason in my Visual Studio, that keyboard shortcut doesn't work. We tried that. You've had C# on your pile to learn for a year now. C# is a fantastic language. I really do recommend anybody that's in here that hasn't tried it yet, give it a shot. It really is always getting awesome new updates. So... where is it? HTTP client factory, there we go. I'm gonna grab this. Wonk. I meant to do this. that. Then we're going to put this line down here. And does this work in here, or does this file need to move? This file may need to move. Yeah, this file is going to need to move. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. The Web API bot is actually not going to live inside of game, inside of here. We're going to move this into the web project for now. It's that or I'm making a class library that understands web, because I don't want the core to have any web references in it. So in order to avoid that, I'm going to move it over here, because this reference requires SystemNet HTTP and Microsoft Extensions HTTP, which I don't want our core project knowing about web stuff. So I could make a web class library, but for now I'm just going to move this out, and I'm going to put it inside of a I'm just going to make a bot folder for now. Whoops, not a bot class. Brendan, come on. Hit the F key next time. We're going to make a bot class, and then we're going to paste it in here. And then we need to fix up our namespace here in a second. There it is. Fix up the namespace. And this one probably needs it as well. No? Okay. So now it needs a name. So we're going to call this Rockster the example. And then the last thing it needs is a new... It needs the factory, which we'll have to figure that out. Yeah, so we're going to be doing dependency injection. I want this to get created automatically somehow, so I'm not sure what we're going to do about that one, because we're not creating it in just a controller, and we do need its name. Okay, what did people say here? Probably overridden by ReSharper or another plugin. Yeah, Tommy Two Toes, almost certainly. Not about name, very grateful for your streams. Glad to hear it. It is due. I'm much appreciated. how devout, AJ Ukraine. That's pretty good. Probably an extension I had 0s and 9s working on for a while in VS until I figured out it was something to do with CodeRush. Yeah, so that's the extensions give you a lot of power, but they can mess you up sometime. Tommy Two Toes, yes, we're going to be doing dependency injection. Yeah, AJ Ukraine, so they added in a new thing for that. I think the development environment is more... Yes, Visual Studio is a very intimidating development environment, but that is because it is probably the best IDE that exists. That's not to say it doesn't have problems. Visual Studio has a lot of problems, but it does so much more than almost any IDE you will find. Not very, I'd say. Yeah, it's answering the question of how easy it is to bork a project in the beginning. It'd be pretty difficult. You'd have to be doing the kind of craziness that I do, where you start a project and then you just start deleting whole sections. That could mess you up. I feel kind of comfortable doing it because I know what to do if I mess it up. But yeah, if you start with a console application or web application, even if you just start with like an ASP.NET web, ASP.NET Core web application, it's pretty difficult to break it right off the bat, because it makes it obvious where you should be messing with stuff and where you shouldn't. I don't know if I've got it here, but in some places they'll even say, like, you know, they'll have a comment that comes in by default that'll say like, "Don't mess with this unless you actually know what you're doing." I've seen one of those before, and I was like, that's a really good thing to have. Like, because it's one of those, if you know what you're doing, it's totally fine to mess with it. If you don't, probably shouldn't be messing with it. We might be able to get away with that, actually. If we made those names unique, I might be able to get away with that, and then there's a separate HTTP client for these ones. It comes in when we do that. Do I need a name? Can I just create one? I can just create one. So we're just going to do that. Create client, result get string. Okay. So there's nothing fancy about that at all. So they're doing nothing here. Okay, so we want to call var client equals that, and then that is not an async method yet. It's going to need to be. I just noticed, so that is not async yet, but it will be. Pimplack, welcome. Hi. Hello. Interesting. You didn't show up in Twitch chat, but it did on the stream one. Oh, yeah. That's weird. I saw it in both, actually. I saw you. Wonder why it dropped a message for you. Oh, yeah. So factory is to decouple configuration from its actual instantiation. Yes, exactly. Yep. It's a nice approach, actually. Okay, so for now I'm just going to do a get string, whereas we're eventually going to want to be passing a payload when we do it. And I'm not going to do async if I can avoid it. Do they have a non-async version? No, they've got get string async. Or I can get a stream. Let's take a look at what we want to have out of it. So I'm going to do this. I am actually... So since we're not async yet, we're going to make ours async, but rather than go back and fix that right now, I'm just going to .result this. So I'm essentially synchronizing this async call. So I'm taking away its ability to actually be asynchronous, but don't worry about that just yet. JSON convert. Is that what this is? And then deserialize object from a string value. That'll work. Okay. Bot choice. That's what I'm going to call this for now. We're going to make a nested type called bot choice. So I'm actually going to put this inside of my class. And for anybody that doesn't know, because maybe you're new at C#, because I happen to know there are a couple of people that are, that makes it so that this is within this class. So it's still accessible anywhere because I made it public. Not that I need to. I could probably get away with making that private, and it would work just fine, but it is an interesting one. Yes. Let's see, bot choice. There we go. All right, so we're gonna put this here. Oops, don't delete the line, Brendan. Don't delete the line. I'm gonna call that result, but I don't like that name, so we're gonna rename it now. This is our raw bot choice. So that's before we've. So this is when it's just a string. So actually, I'm actually gonna put string in there, just so it's very clear that that's what that is. Generally speaking, I use var when it's obvious what the type is on the line, when you can just glance at it. So, for example, if I did like, bot choice equals new bot, bot choice equals new bot choice, it's like I think everybody knows what the type is. So I could say var bot choice equals new bot choice. What's this yelling at me about? Create derived type, create another part of the type? No. This needs a property on it that is a decision. And what did we call it? Decision? Where is our index CSHTML? Choice. Choice is what we called it. But I guess we could call it decision. Decision. All right. Let's see what this thing does. Now we need to return bot choice decision. I think that will work there, unless I'm missing something. Are you going to remove the double quotes around API root URL in? Yes. What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, totally. I didn't miss that at all. Yeah. Okay, so now we got that. This is never instantiated. Yeah, that's because I deserialized it one time. What you smoking, thing? Quit trying to help me. Okay, so we're going to deserialize that. Now we need to go to where this is called. So let's go to where the constructor's called. Because we need to pass in the correct factory to this, because we can't DI this thing. Not here, at least. Unless we do this, actually. I just realized we can put the constructor here. This is what we're doing. I got it. I got it. We're good. We're golden. Check it out. Watch this. Magic. No, we don't need that. Thank you, whoever followed just now. I will look at your name and say thank you to you directly in a moment. Once I get this all cleaned up here. Okay, so here's what I'm planning. Mandapodium. You're trying to check my Lysdexia there, huh? Pandemonium, Mandaponium. Welcome, thanks for following. Okay, so are you going to? Yeah, AG Crate. Eventually, I will. Yeah. So when we already have a type declaration in the params, we can have underscore and duck type just like ECMA. You can format your variables like. Losing banana if you want. As do CJ doesn't care. Oh, that's awesome, Edis do. Yeah, so basically here's the plan. I'm going to have this get wired up using dependency injection, so this object gets created not by me, but by ASP.NET Core. So it's automatically going to make this. Once it does that, it's going to actually give me this factory. I am then going to pass that factory into this object, and that is going to make it work. Now, these are actually going to get developed somewhere else, but that object's going to get created by dependency injection, so I'm not worried about it. So we can get this passed all the way up to the top and pass in the factory there. So I think that is going to work. So once we have that in here, we need to make sure that both of these web projects are running. So what I am going to do is this. I'm going to click on the solution, go down to Set Startup Projects, and I'm going to tell this to open both of my projects. So we're going to say multiple startup projects. We're going to say start without debugging and start without debugging on both of those. So we're going to run both the competition application that's running it as well as our example bot. So now when I run things, it should run both websites. Whoa, do I already have it running? I didn't read that message. Unable to start without debugging. The startup project can be changed by selecting that. Ensure the correct project is set as the startup project. Why does it not want me to be able to start them both? Why does it want it to be debugging only? Okay, I'll start it with debugging then. Okay, game leaderboards top. Oh, notice what's top ballers? So basically that is people who have in our chat here in DevChatter earned the most chat currency. Chat currency is coins or tokens here that we use for the arcade. And the way that you can earn coins, for anybody that's wondering, is if you are just sitting around in chat, you are slowly earning coins. And if you want to earn more coins, you can do things like play our Hangman game or play Rock, Paper, Scissors. And this is a different Rock, Paper, Scissors than what we're doing right now in our code. But you are welcome to play it. So Rock, Paper, Scissors. No. Oh, look, it's the other cat. Hello, Juhani. Juhani's a sweet kitty. I don't think that she will knock down the green screen. Okay, so both of these should have started up here. Right here, I'm hoping that they did, but I can't tell. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to view both of them for now and make sure I mess with that to make sure that they both get running. View. Okay. Okay, so that one's definitely running and responding with that. And now I want to do... This might crash, we'll see. Unable to resolve system HTTP client factory. Oh, did I actually have to tell it that one? Is that not just automatically part of that? Add HTTP client. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to add that. Did someone say that in chat? If this assists you in resolving your RAND, you can have it. And it's good, but it's efficient. Okay, I'll take a look. What is this on? I don't even remember what I've got on my clipboard. Services add HTTP client. There we go. Looks like that might have worked. I am gonna kill the web server. Nobody won! Aww, I just noticed in chat over there, nobody won the rock, paper, scissors game. Probably because we were all on rock. And it chose paper, so it killed us all. Congratulations, bot, you win. Oh, I need to click the other button. View. And view. Good old rock. Nothing beats rock. Glad you all agree with me. Good old rock. Alright, so our example bot is choosing rock, as is expected. Now we are going to say, run the game again. We're going to see if we get any errors, and it's fine if we do, because we're going to fix it. Did I not change its name to that? Unexpected character encountered while parsing. Path decision. Interesting. What a lovely day. Yamsies. And I apologize for butchering your name, but welcome. Thanks for following. Okay, so we're going to get that. Get decision does that. And then in this one, in index CSHTML, we said decision rock. Is that spelled correctly? Guess it's possible that I typoed it. Decision. 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 It was doing JSON convert to serialize into what type? Into a bot choice, which is what that is, that has a single property decision called decision. And rock is definitely one of those. Oh, yes. Good call, good call. Yep, I'll put those on there. Yep. Backslash quote and backslash quote. Good catch, good catch. We really should be serious. Just like, we're going to make it a little nicer than what it is. We're going to make this actually reference the core project, actually put an object in there and return it correctly, as that'll be a little bit nicer that way. But yeah, brain farts. Thank you, Yak Yak. Let me go ahead and run these again, because they did rebuild then when I did that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I don't know why they're not just running. Okay, so there it goes, returning rock again. Run the game. Let's see what it does. No, that's fine. Invalid property identifier character path. Doesn't like the quote now. Decision needs slashes. Hang on. You're telling me this. Alright, we're just gonna do it the right way. We're just doing it the right way. I was doing a blah, rage. Here's what we're gonna do. This class is gonna go away. It is gonna go into the core project. It's not gonna be down here. So we're gonna move bot choice into the core project. So we're gonna go ahead and put it up here. I'm just going to put it in here. Bot choice. Put it there. Just going to reference it in both projects, serialize and deserialize into it, and then we will ignore this stupidity that we've got right now, because it is dumb that that's not working. So what I am going to do is I am now going to hop over here. I'm going to make sure that we actually have a reference to that. So we're going to add a reference to the core project. It already exists. Oops, that's the wrong one. We are going to add a reference to the core project. There we go. Now that we have that reference, in our only page that we've got, we're going to come into the back end of that, and we are going to make JSON data equals a string raw JSON equals new bot choice, and it's going to be a decision rock. But we're going to take this and we're going to wrap this in a serializer. So we're going to say JSON convert serialize object. That object. And I am just going to put this right in here. And you guys are probably saying a bunch of stuff in chat that I'm going to read here in a second. Beat your invisible rock. I retires. Good job, Tommy Two Toes. That was an amazing catch, Yak. Best toy as a kid ever. Salvixidian, that's awesome. Yeah. There you go, man. And everybody just unfollowed and unsubscribed because I drank Pepsi. That's right. I actually drink Pepsi and Coke. I buy whatever's on sale. It's just funny. This isn't sponsored by Pepsi, obviously. Yet. We're still hoping. I would not complain about a Pepsi sponsorship. I drink their beverages. Mountain Dew also. Mountain Dew sponsorship would be fine. If any Pepsi executives are listening, I'm sure you're all there. Let's go ahead and click view on that again. And then over in this one, we're going to do that again as well. And I'm going to mess with why our multiple start projects didn't work as expected. Tommy Two Toes, yeah, I've got Dr. Pepper downstairs. It's delicious. In fact, I was drinking it on the last stream. That's not the one. I guess we could take in the number. Maybe that's why it was bombing. The number works just fine. Number versus the word. Run the game. Invalid property index identifier character. What's the actual raw of this? Quote, decision, value. It looks like it's actually messing with that. Dr. Pepper. Yes, Dr. Pepper. You guys don't like Dr. Pepper? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we can get Diet Dr. Pepper here easily. It tastes like you sucks. Yes. Not that people have different opinions on what tastes good when it comes to food and drink. Of course not. No strong opinions there. Okay, so bot rankings, bot records. Here's what we need to do. So this is being annoying. I think it's the fact that our object isn't exactly what we want in here. I'm not 100% on that. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to hop over into the Web API bot, and I want to take a look at the actual data that we get in here and try to mess with it. So let's see if we can't do that. So we're going to debug. Actually, I'm just going to set this as the startup project. That way we can run it again. I don't know why it wouldn't do both of those. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic. Solution Explorer. We also need to view this one, though, so I'm going to... No, don't stop debugging. Are you telling me that you can't start that one? Now, maybe the other one's still running. We'll see. Raw bot choice. Ruh-roh. I wonder if it's the new lines that are getting it. That'd be weird, though. We could trim it. So I'm going to do this real quickly. Equals this dot trim. There we go. Wonder if that'll make any difference. It shouldn't. I don't know why it would have a problem with that. Invalid proper identifier character. Okay, so it looks like what's happening is this is getting HTML encoded, and that's why it's killing it. And I don't want it to HTML encode it. So how do I tell Razor Page not to HTML encode it? So Razor Page, no HTML encoding. Render without encoding. Raw. There it is. So this is what we want right there. Because what it was doing is encoding that, and so that's why it was bombing. So that ought to fix it. Now that we actually looked and saw what was really causing our error, we can get past it. So essentially the idea is that because that's designed for the display of pages, it was putting that in there as like a web display, and so the raw value was actually getting converted. So now, if I take a look at this page that just loaded, which let me clear some of these ones we're not using. So this is the one that just loaded here. If we view the source on that, you'll notice that it actually has the quotes now instead of doing ampersand on the quote. Let's go ahead and just run this again. Cross your fingers. It's going to be super slow because it's making like 1,000 web requests, so it's really awful for this. We're going to want to do this in some kind of like SignalR connecting-y type of way, where or some kind of a web, you know, we're actually going to want to webhook into this and actually be like, you know, a consistent communication line with it. But for now, I'm just doing it this way because I can make it work. Rockster, the example bot. 2-2. Wow. Okay, so something went wrong, but I'm still calling that a win. So you changed the outcome by measuring it. Not fair. Yes. All right. If you want I want your opinion. I am doing a bot for Discord, which I would like to show in my portfolio. You're a student. How should you share it? Share the code public on GitHub. Share the code public on GitHub. Share the code public on GitHub. As I know everyone hides their Discord bot code, so I'm thinking if it's alright or no. Pimplack, definitely share it on GitHub. I can tell you that I used to do a lot of hiring of developers, and if you had a GitHub account listed on your resume, even if I went there and you had no open source projects, just listing your account alone told me that you are at least someone that is interested in that kind of thing. If you had any projects that you'd worked on, that also gets you points. Even if they're not great, it at least shows, hey, you're interested in stuff. So definitely put it on your GitHub. Yes, exactly. What Tommy Two Toes mentioned. When hiring, we absolutely look at whether or not you have a GitHub account listed. You could put it somewhere private if you wanted, but if it's code that Pimplack wrote, then I see no reason not to just, you know, keep it there. And yes, as Janiscu says, we're going to get the RTM of ASP.NET Core 2.1 this Friday. For some reason I was thinking it was Thursday. I must have had the wrong date. But either way, we are getting ASP.NET Core 2.1 this week, so it will be awesome. We are going to convert to that. Okay, so that does seem to work. So what I am going to do is go over here, and I am actually going to comment it out for now because it is so slow. It took a while because every single move it needs to get from that bot, it has to call to a web API to get it. So it's very slow. We'll make it faster eventually, but we just wanted to get V1, just make it work. Step 1, make it work. So we worked out the kinks of like making sure our formatting was right and everything like that. And I want to make sure that we make an example bot that can be smarter than that if we want it to be. So likely what I'm going to do is make a couple of pages that are basically the same, and set that up. Okay, so connecting example bot. I'm going to push that out for now. Let's see. Remember not to hard code. Yes, as Tommy Tuto says, just don't put any API keys or other things like that. Is hidden already in config. Pimplack, by config, do you mean a user secrets file in if it's C#, ASP.NET, you know, that kind of project, then it should be in a user secrets file. You ever gotten pissed at someone using your code? I certainly have. Oh, someone else using my code. Dude, I've had someone like blatantly just steal my site and just like put it somewhere else, and we get there and we're like, this is our site, that's our code, that's our design. It looks like garbage. They just like hacked their stuff into it. So I think they were thinking, oh, we're in a different country. These guys can't come after us. What are they going to do? And it's funny because we just went to their hosting company, who also does business in the US, and we're like, they were blatantly ripped off our stuff, and so the hosting company just shut them off. And it's like, thank you. Like, you can clearly look and be like, they still have our name in their source code. Like, they did not even like try to not steal our site. It was funny. People on the internet, you gotta love them. They're always wonderful. I know, right? Like, it was just blatant. Well, that's the nice thing, is like the hosting company's like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, that's legit. You know, like, and the hosting company isn't worried about us suing them either. They're just gonna do it because like it's, you know, the right thing to do, and it's bad for them if we go around saying like, yeah, XYZ hosting company wouldn't help us out. So yeah, it was a funny one. They were even in our same line of business too, so like it was like, oh cool, thanks guys. Okay, so that definitely works. Let's make a slightly nicer bot too. I'm going to do the equivalent of Cleverbot. Actually, are all my bots in here? They're all in here. That's funny. In that case, I just realized I could do this inside of here. Instead of just choosing rock, we could get a Cleverbot. We could maintain a Cleverbot over here somehow. How do we want to maintain a Cleverbot? Yeah, I've also had a lot of great hosting companies. There are a lot of very good hosting companies out there that are quite nice to work with. Heck, I host a lot of stuff on Azure right now too. They're not bad either. They're from this small software company in Redmond. That was a joke. It's Microsoft that does Azure. They're not a small company. Public. Let's make it private static. Private static Cleverbot. Internal bot equals new Cleverbot. Yeah, small company. Yeah, exactly. Microsoft. I think I've heard of them somewhere. I can't think of where. I had it once. They wanted me to work on something for them, and I told them they had to pay my services. They got used. Pimplack, can you tell me what do you mean by user secrets? Oh, absolutely, Pimplack. Yes, I can. I'm going to take a quick aside because I think everybody should know about this. Let me just user secrets. ASP.NET Core. We're going to jump over here, and I'm going to show you basically what this is. I'm first going to point you to the docs, because I think it's important to know where these are, so you can hop over here. Wow, they're really going to force that onto the thing in the end of the file. I know they added versioning stuff, but that's annoying to put that on that. So, yeah, Smallsoft, yes. User secrets without your files is so good. Okay, so there's the documentation for user secrets. I am going to talk a little bit. Wait, I did send the right thing, right? Yes, I did. Okay. So there's a secret manager tool, there's a bunch of other stuff. Here's the basic idea. So, there's this manage user secrets button here, which I think I can do in this project and it's safe. Yeah, so there's no user secrets. So, anything secret I want to put in, I can put here, right? And I can make this my secrets. So this is my app settings.json file. If I want something to be in my secrets, instead of having it in here, I can put it in my secrets, right? So I can change these values all I want, and that's secret. So if I had like, you know, well, actually let me put a comma there. So super secret key, and then $W0RT. There we go. Super secret. I don't want anybody to be able to see that and guess it. I mean, like, that's like super. Yeah. So the idea is I might want to have this here instead of inside of my appsettings.json file. So in my appsettings.json file, I might have this. I might have, instead of actually having the real password in here, I might write in user secrets, right? And so now anybody that sees this is going to be like, oh, it's in user secrets. Okay, got it. That's where we're putting that value, and they'd know to check that. Now here's the advantage. You might say, well, isn't that just shifting it into another file? What's actually helping me here? Well, if I look at the address of this file, you will see that that is absolutely not inside of my dev directory, which means that when I commit things to GitHub, this file does not go with it. So that is actually in my app data folder on my user account. Yes, correct horse battery staple. Don't use that password either. Manborg, hello, welcome, hi. So this is micro character and Punisher, like endpoints and passwords, yes. So the cool trick is that you can just, right click, manage user secrets, and go and mess with it. So it's quite nice, which actually I'm going to go get rid of that out of my user secrets right now because I don't really want that in there. And I'm going to get rid of this one by doing that. Oh, and actually it added... So the funny thing is when I said use user secrets, it actually added a user secrets file for me. Forgot I was going to do that. So that user secrets file got created when I said manage user secrets. So I now have a user secrets file on that, which I'm actually going to also get rid of. So we're not going to commit that change. Because you all don't want that GUID taken up on the example bot already. So that's how that piece is going to work. So now we're going to do internal bot dot get decision. And we're going to pass in our new previous results thingy. And I'm going to take this object, bring it out as that, and then we're going to make that a variable, and we're going to say decision. So now we've got that. So the change I need to make now, I need to adjust this so that the for two things. I need to make it so that when we call out to our web API version, we pass it what the previous values were, and then the other thing is I need a way to reset my Cleverbot, which I think I'm just going to make a new Cleverbot when I do this. So that's how we're going to make that work. How can I save lists generated in my Python code as a physical file on the PC? Manporg, there should be some way of... yeah, so you could serialize it as JSON text and then do file I/O. So Python has file I/O that you should be able to use, and if you don't know that one, you can just Google for writing a file in that. I would recommend that you serialize it as JSON, but obviously you could serialize it as XML or write it out in your own format if you like, but the reason I recommend JSON is the fact that that gets you a nice format that you're used to using. And yeah, as Pinblack mentions, there should be a stream writer that you should be able to use to write it. I don't remember the syntax in Python. I haven't actually written a file in Python in at least a dozen years. Maybe a while ago. Tommy Two Toes, give it a try. If Nightbot yells at you, then Nightbot yells at you. I think I have Stack Overflow whitelisted though, so I think you can paste that one. Blatant aside, I use auto hotkeys with the Windows voice recognition API. Is there a more conventional way of accomplishing without what auto hotkeys does? I don't know. So I like AutoHotkey. It is a fantastic application. Does a lot of work for you. And you're welcome, Manporg. Yeah, see? Congratulations, Tommy Two Toes. As long as you're doing... so I'm pretty sure all Stack Overflow links I have whitelisted, so... Nightbot should leave those ones alone, and it should also leave alone anything to like Microsoft Docs. So if it's a Microsoft documentation link, it should allow that through as well. Okay, so we're passing this in. Here's what we need to do. I need to make sure we send a payload along when we call this. So I want to take a look at the Web API bot, and I want to see what it's got in its get async. Does it have a way of passing data, or do we need to do a post that returns back a result? So I might need to post async, actually, instead of get async. Because I think I need to send the content. New HTTP content. I think that's the one. Let me do this. I want to make sure I get the right type. There we go. Byte array content, stream content, string content. We might have to do something else. I'm not 100% on that. JSON convert, serialize object, previous result. I am going to go ahead and store that as a string as well. Previous result content. What's the result on that? Response message. Ah, okay. Content. Read as string async. Result. Please no one shoot me. That's not really what we're going to keep there long term. I'm just making this function. And the reason why is because this isn't async yet. And I don't want to go through and fix all of the iBot implementations to be async. We will do that because clearly we want them to be. Use that robot choice, blah 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 blah. That's super ugly, and it gets us back that value. Now if we hop over here, we take a look at this. We're going to try on post. gonna try putting that in there and see what happens. I'm not 100% on whether or not that's gonna work. Let's build this and take a look at what we get. This is gonna be another one of those cross your fingers kind of moments here, because I think this might work, but boy do I not know. So that page no longer does anything on get, it only does it on post. And I'm not going to go post to it right now. Oh, we have that turned off. Whoops. Let's run the bot again. Okay, there it is there. There it is here. Let's go ahead, and this is going to take a moment. Oh, unless it just bombs immediately. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. On bot choice dot decision, huh? Web API bot. In here. I guess bot choice didn't come back as expected. Uh-ohs. Let's debug this then. We're going to take a look at what it actually was. That value was clearly something. Run the game. There we go. Came back with nothing. It's a good question. It is due, possibly at some point, for our bots rock paper scissors game. This one in chat here, we may at some point be able to choose values and things like that in the bot, but I wasn't necessarily planning on that one just yet. I was gonna go and mess with something here. Razor pages. You know what? I'm going to debug that one also. I'm going to go ahead and toss a breakpoint over here, see if we actually hit it. Because we're either not hitting this, which point it thinks we're not getting our payload. Well, it could be here. Oh! Well, first off, I wasn't using this, so that would be stupid. Are you awaiting? It is due. No, I'm calling results. I'm forcing it into synchronous code right now. The reason we're doing that is because I don't want to go and change I don't want to mess with all the rest of the bots, so I'm going to create this one synchronously and then do a separate pull request that switches everything to big async. So that's why it's set up this way. I'm going to do a sanity check. AspNet Core Razor page on post. Just make sure I'm not doing something completely crazy here. I'm not doing something crazy, am I? Is there something weird with an on post not being able to be void or something? I mean, I'm not doing anything, so I should be able to, and it should be fine. Rigged. Hey, hey, hey. I swear it's not rigged, it is due. Look, that's in the quote. I can't lie in a quote. You know how quotes work? I can't lie in a quote. Let's go ahead and put model binding. Razor page on post model binding. On post binding. On post string email. We could do the literals and say that maybe the complex type is too advanced for it. What are the values that it gets out of that? What is in this? Guess we could take these in. Maybe it's just confused by them. And yeah, I'll fix the casing here in a second. It's probably something such as the unquoted JSON. Yeah, it could be. Victor51. This is a project where we are building a site that is going to let everyone add bots and compete against each other. So that is the goal of this one. Opponent previous equals opponent previous. Round outcome equals outcome. And your previous equals your previous. So that was a silly thing there, but that's fine. Not a rigged bot. I might have told you all that in playing a game of basically what we're building here, but written for JavaScript instead of C#, I actually did make CheaterBot when we were playing in our user group. I called him CheaterBot, and he literally grabbed he required in the rules for the game that we were playing and modified how it determined the winner of any given round. So my bot would go in and it just actually, all it did was it altered the JavaScript function. It just added in a statement at the beginning that just said, if the name is CheaterBot, return that it won. Right? So like every round, it doesn't matter what you threw, CheaterBot was determined to be the winner, regardless of what you threw. So you'd be like throwing dynamite. Wait a minute. I threw dynamite, CheaterBot threw rock and somehow won? Like, what? It was really funny. I thought it was hilarious. It was called CheaterBot. What did you expect it to do? It cheated. It was quite fun. Okay, so we're gonna try this way, see if it works any better with that, like, with it broken apart. I don't know why. It seemed like it might not have been model binding. I'm not sure. If it gets to it, I'll actually just pull up Postman, and we will just hit this directly and see if that makes it work any better. Okay, so it's still not making its decision. So we might have to just pull up Postman and just hit this thing with some posts just to see what value we get. Hangman game with a bot wins as not die at all. Yeah, we're not gonna build that one, Janiscu. Huh. Do you guys have a pretty bad delay? Yeah, it is due. the I win bot. Cheater bot, where cheater bot keep living with hang. Yes, exactly. It was a fun bot. I thought it was hilarious. The best part is that someone else was trying to write the same bot and I got mine working first. So... What? Uh-oh, I have scissors. Nobody likes scissors. Scissors loses to rock, and rock is the best. Rock, paper, scissors. Page model. Okay, we're going to do this and see if these values even get hit at all. Toss some breakpoints on those. Now we're going to go over here. Whoops, not that one. Where is it? No. No. Did I close it? I might have closed it. Okay, it is due. Yeah. That does seem like pretty bad lag since I responded to that like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, the problem with the way that a Twitch stream works is as you delay, the delay gets, like, as you lag, the delay gets worse. Because it doesn't want you to skip any of it, so it keeps playing where it left off. Okay, so we didn't hit either of those breakpoints. So, So apparently we're not really hitting those. That explains why that didn't work on either. So this on post didn't get hit. So... Should have... Why didn't that work? Our convention should all be in there by default. Shouldn't be anything weird with these. Yeah, we're doing nothing special. Totally ordinary. Pimplack. Keyboard. I shouldn't have to fix a route, Tommy Two Toes. It should just work. Hey Steve, how's it going? Nice post. Much appreciated. That's funny. On post add async. On post delete async. That's funny. Problem is, normally when people post, they redirect to another page, but we're just doing a post because we want to do a payload with it, and that's the way that the HTTP client passes data, is through a post and not through a get, and so that's what's causing us our problem here. So I might just call it quits for now and not mess with this yet, and not send in this data, figure it out later, because I don't want to leave all of you sitting here waiting while I try and figure out why this isn't working as expected. Can I send this? Really, I want to be able to do a get async and send in data, because you can send in data with a get, because you can send it as part of a query string. So I guess my other option would be to change the URI to have a query string on it. So I could do that. So I could say new URI .URI, right? I could do this. I could build a URI, pass in the URI, and I could say URI build, URI builder dot, there we go. Does not have a, does not just take a I can take a string. So we're gonna say underscore, whoops, root, no, it's the root, right? API root URL. Okay, so that'll get us our basic one, and then we want to say URI builder dot query, right? Let's see what people are saying. Microsoft ergonomic bundle with a wireless ergonomic mouse. I am not using the mouse, actually. I just have the keyboard. It is a Microsoft Sculpt is my keyboard, so I like it a lot. Interesting, sounds like a memory explosion waiting to happen. Is ergonomics keyboard better than normal? I have a basic keyboard with a yeah, so whatever you like. Some people like basic keyboards. For gaming, I actually use a standard rectangular keyboard, just a regular one, nothing special. But for like typing code all day, I use one of these keyboards, a split keyboard, we'll call it. And yes, it's a better angle for your wrists. So it's like, you know, so your hands aren't like this; they're like this, because, you know, natural position for your wrists is like out like this, not like this. So it's just, that's the reason why. So it gets them a little bit more upright so they can, it also keeps your hands a little bit further apart, because you don't want them this close together. You want them, you know, at shoulder width, so you're not, you know, tightening everything up. Makes sense. Is there not a query string builder? String. What is the point of this query string object? I'm confused by that. That didn't seem weird to anybody else? That seemed weird to me. So I don't know if you know this, but one of the reasons we're waiting on ASP.NET Core 2.1 is the fact that they did some performance improvements on it. So they changed a lot about how it works just to make it faster and better. I like how it's blog post. That's all I can find about post when we're talking about an HTTP client. Yes, you do have some years of experience with typing on PC, so you do all the real difference between them. So it's more comfortable if you're going to type on it all day, so it's more of a health thing than a typing thing. Although I don't mind the spot where my hands are anyway. Part of the reason why I use this keyboard is I really like the keys, but because I get enough tactile feedback with it, but it also doesn't make a ton of noise, which is useful when I've got a microphone right here that you guys probably hear me clicking and clacking when I'm typing anyway, and if it were louder it would just be worse. So I don't want to give you all that. Maybe, oh, I wonder if I do it like that. Ooh, that's a good idea. Client dot host as JSON async. I wonder if that's what I want to do. T value. Ooh, nice. Previous result. We'll just put that in there. That might be what I wanted. That might be the thing that just does all the work for me. That would be sweet if it did. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe that works. Let's go ahead and run that. Come down here and do the thing. Nuffly, we are building a system for doing a little bot competition here, if you're still in here. And the way that it works is this. We first do this, and it throws an error because we're trying to figure out why this isn't calling our code here. But basically, the idea is that you will submit a bot into the competition. So you'll write your own AI, you'll write a little bit of code, and then once your code is working, you send this in here, you tell us the URL, and essentially then we're going to have it make a persistent connection, so it's a little bit faster than this. So actually the code we're messing with right now isn't how it's going to work in the long run anyway, so I'm not sure why I'm spending so much time on this. I probably shouldn't be. But once you get that, then the idea is that you play a game of rock, paper, scissors. So I definitely do not want to waste the time on this, so that is a really good point. So thank you for asking the question. I'm not going to do it because this isn't how we're going to run it in the long term anyway. So let me turn off that bot. We're going to rerun this. Actually, I don't know if it's going to recompile that or not. It should. There it goes. Okay, so this is the basic idea. So right now we're going to add more stuff to this page because we want to actually see some of the results here. But we want to get back which bots were running and what they had in here. So yeah, so the way that the game works, just to give everybody a brief rundown for anybody that's in here right now and wasn't here when we started this, all of our code's actually out on GitHub, so you can take a look at it. Our project right here, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Boom, is Essentially, you play rock, paper, scissors. Every bot faces every other bot 1,000 times, and that's a match, so there's 1,000 rounds in a match. A round consists of playing rock, paper, scissors against your opponent, where you can choose rock, paper, or scissors. That follows the standard rules. Alternately, you can choose to throw a water balloon, but a water balloon is going to lose to rock, paper, and scissors, as you can see by these arrows. Rock, paper, and scissors all defeat water balloon. You can also throw dynamite. Now, dynamite will beat rock, paper, or scissors, so seems like the opposite of water balloon, but the difference is that water balloon can beat dynamite. So, you're restricted to 100 uses of dynamite, and the idea then is, since you can only use dynamite sometimes, you have to figure out when you want to, how you want to, and things like that. And so you can make some intelligence in the bot to try and figure out what your opponent's going to do so you can best defeat them. So that is what we are doing right now. So, do I actually want to send this change in? I think not. So I'm not going to commit this. What I am going to do is this. I am going to make a new branch off of this one, and we're going to call this Benric example posting previous. Since that's what that one is, we're going to save this over here. Non-working, work in progress. This code does not work yet. There we go. What's your strategy of the game? Ubeyo! And I apologize for butchering your name, but I gave it a shot. Let me know, and I will try to say it better next time. There are a couple of strategies to the game. I'm not going to discuss too in-depthly how I do things, but I am willing to show you some simple bots that we've got in here already. Actually, let me first show you this one. This is WaterBot. It returns water as its choice every time. Here's a simple one. CleverBot just beats all of those bots. Basically what it does is it says, what did my opponent throw? Okay, play whatever defeats what they just threw. So this bot will lose to certain types of bots and beat other types of bots, but it's not terrible. Basically, any time a bot throws two things in a row, the same thing twice, this bot will defeat it. Some other ones that can work pretty well is doing elements of randomness. So I do recommend that when you are writing bots that you do random decisions to try and not be predictable to your opponent, but random only is not a great choice. So you can just have your bot completely random. There are some other things you can decide, like how to space out your dynamites to try and get yourself a win, for example. Some bots might fire all their dynamites off in the beginning, some might fire them off at the end, some might try to use them sparingly throughout. And there's that sort of thing. The way I tend to write my bots is trying to figure out what my opponent is doing and responding to that. But that's not always the best strategy. So most of what I build is trying to figure out what you're doing and react to it. So if I think your bot does random choices, I'm going to be random as well for the majority of my stuff. If I can detect a pattern in what you do, I'm going to be like, oh, you're doing some kind of pattern, we're going to expect you to do that pattern until you prove to me that you're not doing it. So that's sort of how a lot of this stuff works. So as I mentioned, this one's stupid simple. All it does is just say, hey, what did you pick? Okay, cool, I'm just going to return back the thing that beats that. Done. And it'll be nice and easy. So that way it beats paper, rock, and scissors bots, as well as WaterBot. Because it sees water balloon, and it just says, hey, I'm going to throw a rock because you're throwing water balloons. And I know one type of bot, like one thing you could just build into almost any bot, is you could basically say, if my opponent threw the same thing a few times, just assume they're going to do it again once. So like once your opponent gets into a pattern of repetition, then you know everybody could become the clever bot. So it's whatever you want to build. There's a lot of decisions in there. Okay, so what I wanted to do is this. I wanted to pull request in the example bot, create pull request, and it's not done, but I want to get it in there just so that we do get that pull request coming in. I'm not going to approve it just yet and merge it in, But what I want to do is I want to improve the output that we get. So you'll notice right now I'm printing out the rankings, which actually, why did I just doing that as an ordered list? That was dumb. That was really dumb. That seemed silly to not just do an ordered list. And why do I even need to print out the rank? Because then I could just do a for each loop. This was silly. At for each loop. Welcome, the Dinklage. Thank you for joining today. We really appreciate having you here. Hopefully that means you're enjoying the stream. In model.bot rankings. Get rid of this. I no longer need any of that. So there we go. Bot rank wins minus losses. Okay, so that should be a little bit nicer. Let's refresh this. Assuming the page is still running, we might have to rerun the website. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. So now the next thing that we need to do is awesome. Glad to hear it, the Dinklage. So we want to start printing out some results here. So there are a couple of things we could do. The first one I'm thinking is make a div, which yes, I'm just going to do a div for now. We might structure it better later, but I'm just going to put that in here. And what I want to do is I want to print out the results by bot for what they actually ended up with. Now this is going to be a ginormous page at the beginning because I'm going to tab this out and make it be chosen by a drop-down list. To do 95, yes, welcome back. A little bit late, that is correct, considering that we have been going for about 2 hours now. So just slightly late. Hopefully you're still having a great Monday, though. Okay, so full game results. I want to print out whose it is, and then so we're going to do an H4, and we're going to say results for someone. And what I want to do is this. I want to say for each var full game result. Actually, let's just say full result in model dot all full results. Not a great name, but I kind of get what I'm going for here. So as I said, this will be some kind of like filtered section or something like that with a drop-down list. Choose the bot whose results you want to see, or maybe we'll only show yours at some point. I haven't totally decided yet. But we obviously want to have this on here. This doesn't have a type yet, so when it creates that property, see, it's just going to IEnumerable it, which we don't want that. We want an IEnumerable with a type. So we're going to say this is an IEnumerable of, which actually we're just going to make it a list of. We're going to be more useful. Full results. Okay, not a huge fan of that name either, but it's not the worst. I have definitely created worse names in my career. Full results. So inside of full results, we want to have a couple of things. First off, we want to have bot name, and then we want to have a list of match result. So we're going to have our list of match results there. So that's going to be a full result. Maybe that name will be better, because that actually could be the game result or something like that. So maybe we'll use that one. But either way, I'm going to put this in here for now like this. So we're going to say at full results.bot name. So results for that bot. And then what we're going to do is this. We want to list every other bot and how they did against them. So we're going to say this. The Thrandy, welcome. Thanks for following. Hopefully you're having a good Monday. So we're going to do an @ for each on var foo equals full results dot match results. So that's a match result in that, because I are no C#. Sorry guys, getting a little bit of stream brain today. This is an unordered list. Okay, so now we're gonna list who our opponent was. So we're gonna say match result. What's on here? Okay, so we're gonna say winner is at match result dot winner dot name. For each one of these, we want to have the winner, the loser, and record. What are the properties on here? Round results. You know what? For now, we're just going to print out this. I think this is enough. Now we just need to set that data when we're setting the other part. So let's take a look at what that gets us. So if we're just doing this, we need to set this value as well when we're doing this. So let's do that. That'll get us our bot rankings, but the problem is start all matches isn't returning the data we want yet. So we're going to need to change this so it gets us the data. It doesn't get us everything we want. So right now this is just returning back this value, which is great and all, because it's giving us all of our match results. But I think we want to have, instead of a list of bot records, we want to have a game runner result or something like that. Hoot Skirdu, welcome, thanks for following. And for anybody, if I ever butcher your name, if I'm saying it wrong for a while, even if I've been saying it wrong for a week, don't worry, just tell me how I'm messing it up, tell me how I can say it better, and I will try to remember to say it better. My goal is to try and say your name correctly and remember something about it. So, because I think you're all awesome, and I appreciate that you're here. So, we want to do this. So, return back to start all matches, run that, so that would be a list of bot records that we're getting back. List of bot records with that returns. Oh, it probably is Peter. Oh, Zelvixodian. Is it Zelvixodian? Is that closer? All right, Zelvixodian. Got it. Emphasis on the third syllable. How is C hashtag? Angablade, I really like C pound a lot. It's a very good language. C pound. C pound. It's the pound sign from a phone. It's an old language, not a hashtag. Okay, so I could do a tuple here, but I don't really like the idea of doing a tuple here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to return back both sets of data. We're going to make a custom type real quickly, and we're going to return back that instead. So we're going to do this. Inside of our model, I am just really quickly going to make a new game runner result. Zenobobby, welcome, thanks for following. And ASP.NET Core is coming for desktop software development. Have you heard about that? Yes, I have. .NET 3.0, .NET Core 3.0 is going to be able to do some of that, and I would really like to see, and it's possible that you mean like progressive web app kind of thing, but I would really like to see, yes, Angablade, I should definitely use go-tos. Sea Pound, a dirty film about the ocean. Yeah, wow, yeah. That sounds like a really bad film, Tommy Two Toes. So what I'm really hoping for, just so you guys all know, the thing I really want to see coming from .NET Core, yeah, they're already talking about .NET Core 3.0, because the big thing with 3.0 is that it is the version that is intended to give us the ability to use .NET Core in our WinForms, WPF, and UWP applications. So essentially all of the existing, like the main existing technologies for writing Windows applications, you're going to be able to use .NET Core in, which means lighter weight, framework usage for those. So I think that's going to be really nice. So I'm looking forward to that. However, what I really want to see, and Microsoft, if you're listening at all, please get us a framework that works for GUI applications on Windows, on Linux, and is, first party, so like by Microsoft, that does .NET Core development on all those platforms. So I would really like to see that. If it's lightweight and nice. So I'm talking as nice as what ASP.NET Core is. So really make it great. I understand that that it's not necessarily like the thing that you guys want to do of like, oh, we're going to make it so it's easy to build GUI applications on Mac and Linux. I get that. I get that. You want Windows first, but at the same time, I'm just telling you, that would be so nice. The selling point on .NET Core would be so easy if we could be like, no, you can build, like, you want to build something? Awesome. Like, we're going to build this GUI application. It's going to run everywhere. It's going to be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah, exactly. .NET Core, all the things. Okay, so here's what I want to get. I want to get a list of, what are they? List of bot records. List of bot record. So we're going to say list of bot records. Then what's the other thing I wanted in here? This. Prop of that. Full resultses. Do you want the full resultses? All match results. Yes. Yeah, Xamarin to Linux. I know, Janiska. My worry is that all they're going to do is put Xamarin everywhere. Not that Xamarin's bad, but I kind of sit there and I'm like, you have this great opportunity to, set up a new lightweight thing, because .NET Core is already, you're already going with, no, this is a breaking change, so like everybody's got it intentionally up to it. You're already in that realm. So at this point, I kind of feel like there's not going to be a better opportunity for Microsoft to say, no, we're going to break, we're going to start something new, it's going to be lightweight, it's going to be great, it's going to work everywhere, and everybody's going to love it. They have the chance to do that. So ASP.NET Core answers that for like a web application that can run on Windows, run on Linux, and really be nice. And it's lightweight, fantastic. If you've seen the benchmarks on it, this is one fast, great framework. I want to see them do the same thing with client development. So it would be really awesome. Minar, welcome. Thanks for following. And again, with everybody, if I mess up your name, just tell me, and I will try to say it better next time. Kind of like Zovixodian. Nuffly. Yes, we all want full resultses. Now I need to do like some evil laugh, and then I'm gonna get yelled at for doing evil laughs on stream again. There are two kinds of people: those who new line and those who don't. Yes, this is standard in C#, but if you're in JavaScript, for example, this is standard. Now the thing that's going to blow your mind is that there actually was a reason to do that in JavaScript, like a technical reason, is there was a case where it would not interpret things correctly. All your base are belong to us. Control F and you are good. Okay, so I want to hop over here. We have this. I need to change that type, so we're going to go over here. This is now going to return back a game runner result. So this is going to break like everything. which is gonna suck. Oh man. So this is gonna be a new one of these, and it's gonna say, oh, whoops, game runner result. That's what I meant to say. Game runner result. Result. And then we're gonna say bot records equals bot rankings, because I renamed that and didn't actually quite get it right. And then all match results equals match results, I think. No, it's full results. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Let's see. Automatic semicolon insertions. Yes, exactly, Nuffly. Yep. Nuffly knows exactly what I'm talking about. In JavaScript, there was actually once a reason. There is. So, in JavaScript, people may have noticed that it is a convention to put the curly brace on the same line, and that is actually the reason why is. So you may also know that in JavaScript you don't have to include the semicolons. Well, the problem is that what it would do is automatic semicolon insertion means it would add the semicolons after the fact. And so the problem is it would sometimes mess up a line because it would add a semicolon where it shouldn't have, because that could have been a complete line. And by putting the curly on the same line, it would know not to put a semicolon there, because then it would be an error. You will not... Yes. All your base are belong to us. You have no chance to survive. Make your time. What are you working on? Oh, actually, so Angoblade, you can run Visual Studio Enterprise, and you can still do .NET Core. In fact, I recommend .NET Core because of how lightweight and nice it is. So we're building a program that is going to let us, hold a competition of bots that play a custom game of rock, paper, scissors that includes dynamite and water balloons, just to make it a little bit more interesting. You can do .NET Core with Notepad++. You could do .NET Core with regular Notepad. Yeah, we're totally going to do that. We're not going to do that. No. Nope, don't even bring it up. We're not doing it. Not doing it. Nothing doing. Definitely not. Not going to do it. New list of those. What is a full results? A bot name and a set of match results. Okay. Get bot rankings from match results. That's all match rankings. Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay, so I need them grouped. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Here we go. All match results. Here's what we're gonna do. I hope everybody's watching. This is gonna be good. No one's gonna kill me, I don't think. Just wait for it. Oh god, someone's gonna kill me. So we're going to group by winner. I know what I'm doing.
Here we go!
That's what we meant to say. So you have to write about and guess what the others are going to choose and choose accordingly. Angoblade, you are correct. Yes, that is exactly what you're going to be doing. I write most of my code by hand on paper, send it to a mail by Microsoft Advanced, push the Windows update on my PC. Oh, that's awesome. Can I write it as well and send it to you? Angablade, yeah. No, that's exactly what we're going to do. So there is ExampleBot in here that we're going to basically have everybody implement. They're going to either steal this and just use it, or something like that. We're going to have a way for everybody to send in their own bot. So everybody who watches DevChat, or even if you don't, and you just stumble across this, you're going to be able to submit a bot and compete in it. And we're not going to require... So we're planning on calling it through the web server, so we're going to try to make it as easy as possible. So potentially persistent web connection, so that you can give us your results and we can tell you what happens. Or we might come up with a way of running it inside a Docker. We haven't totally decided yet how all the bots are going to run. We're figuring it out as we build it. So that's the idea. I'm a little scared and hesitant of the idea of letting people submit packages and code directly to us, but there might be a safe way to do it. We'll see. I don't want to rely on too much there. If we do go that route of actually allowing someone to send us stuff, I'm going to set up entirely separate accounts for Azure for these to run in. So this is probably going to run on Azure. If we can get Microsoft to help us out with this, we'll see if we can get them to host it for us without charging us. We'll see. And thank you for following, Angablade. Yes, certainly you could repurpose stuff. I'm expecting someone to try to use machine learning at some point. Yeah, so Tommy Two Toes, the plan would actually be... So there are some ways that you can restrict what stuff can use. So there is a way to do it. And Xenobobby, don't... you'd be surprised. I might be able to. I've got some strings I can potentially pull to try and see if they'll help us out with that, because it does get people using Azure, so they wouldn't complain too much about it. Oh, well there you go, Angablade. If you're already using ML for it, then that's perfect. Yeah, Xenobobby, Microsoft does give free stuff. So, for example, they especially do for like MVPs and insiders and things like that. This is actually a licensed copy of Visual Studio, completely legal from Microsoft, and I do actually have to admit this kind of stuff on stream because I say nice things about it, and in order to not get in trouble with like, oh, well, you got a free thing, you're advertising for them without it, So I did not pay for this copy of Visual Studio, but I do get it for free from Microsoft. So I should make that clear. Okay, so I need a new full result. Select, and then that's x dot key. Isn't that my grouping here? Group by winner. Group. Oh, I need to first and then say dot key, don't I? Something. What is that type? Range result group by winner, right? Then that should be a grouping of bot and match results. So the key should be that. What's it smoking? Yeah, group.key. Why wasn't it getting me that? New full result. Oh, because I didn't type bot name. Derp. 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 Alright, let's see. Microsoft needs Azure. Yeah, they actually do need it within the development community. Yes, I know, Bobby. And yes, Pimblack is correct. Students also can get a lot of free stuff from Microsoft. Group. Yeah, actually, I never worked at Microsoft. I was a Microsoft MVP for a number of years. I am an ASP insider, and I actually used Windows Azure, so Microsoft's cloud platform, when it was literally just a console application. So I was one of like the early non-Microsoft employees that actually got to use Azure. So I got brought out for like an invite-only event to take a look at it and try it out and try building an application with it. So they do deep dives with new tech. So people would be surprised how often Microsoft actually does bring in people to use new stuff they're building. I really needed to key the invalidated. That sucks. Well, welcome. Wouldn't run 10 if I was paid to. Actually, I like Windows 10. It's not bad. Black Kazoo. I am not Quentin Tarantino. I used Azure. I used Azure before it was cool. No. It was definitely not cool. You're right. Azure was not cool then. Azure was very, very difficult to use back then. Yes, free private GitHub, JetBrains products are free. Everybody wants students to use their stuff. What's up with that, man? Okay, so we want to do this. We want to say match results equals gerp dot toList. Can't convert type. Oh, this. It started yelling at me because that one cleared. My bad. Alright, we're going to toList this. So this is going to be a list of those. And this is going to be... Yeah, sure. All match results is this. That. Select this. toList it. I was a computer science student, so yeah, I was a pirate back then. Lucro, welcome, thanks for following. Let's see, the caveat as a student is students at a university. I spent a year trying to get JetBrains to approve my school for ReSharper. Not sure if they ever did since I completed and left. Oh man, that sucks, Tommy Two Toes. Yeah, the trick with that one, a lot of times you want to contact someone that's actually at the company because they can usually speed stuff along. So for example, if I tried to get that, if I do try to get it so Microsoft will host our little application here, our little server to run this stuff, especially if we have some kind of tie-in with Azure, if part of our instructions include like setting up your site to run in Azure, they might actually go for that because that gets a bunch of developers to at least set up an account. Whether you're planning on using it for much more than that or not, if they can get you to use it, you might, end up liking it. So win for them, and if you don't, it's no big loss either, because it's pretty easy to just add in an extra hosted thing into the mix. So, and it doesn't actually cost them very much. Yeah, that sucks. If you guys want to reach out to people about that, you're trying to get your university stuff, this goes for anybody. For anybody that's actually trying to contact companies about doing specific programs and things like that with their schools, institutions, companies, anything like that, my recommendation to you is find who their community outreach people are on Twitter and contact them directly. So, for example, if you want to talk to JetBrains people, this is one of the JetBrains employees that you could contact and try and get them to help you out with that. So Chris, Woody Woodruff is, you'll notice right here, developer advocate at JetBrains. He's also a former Microsoft MVP. Woody and I have actually worked together before. He does not live in this, he's also in the States, but he's not in the same state I am. We both worked at a company for a while. He's a good guy, and he's someone that works at JetBrains. So essentially, you want to try to find who their developer advocate or other community outreach people are, because you can contact them about this kind of stuff, and they might say, hey, that's not my thing, but I know who you should talk to, and it's this other person. So the nice thing about that is most of these dev companies have people whose job it is to, be involved in a part of the community. So they're great. That's a great thing you can do. It is due. It is possible, if you've been here on Dev Chatter before, you would have seen me here, but where are you based? In the world. I'm in the Midwestern United States. So if you're anywhere in that region, you may have seen me speak. I do a lot of regional talking. This year, for example, I've spoken in a couple of states. So I get around a little bit. Angablade, Michigan. Don't worry, I'm not a sports ball fan, but I am in Ohio, so I think we should be able to get along still, because I don't watch football or basketball or anything like that, so no reason for me and Angablade to fight. Yeah, see. Hey, I didn't bring it up. I actually have a lot of friends that are in Michigan, so. It's kind of hard to actually be a hater. Okay, so that should pull those out. That doesn't quite work perfectly because I want to group by either group by winner. Is there a way to group like by 2 values? Can I group by 2 different values? I don't want to group by. I don't want to do a group by I don't want to group by multiple with an and. I want to group by multiple with an or. Awesome, Angablade. Glad to hear it. No Talent Clown, welcome. Thank you for following. I'm not sure I totally believe that statement, but sure. Group by. Yes, I could use an anonymous type, but I don't want to do that. I kind of want to go I want to go the route where I could do either. So I don't want to group by both, I want to do either. Group by either of 2 columns. Link. Group by no, that's not what I want. I want the opposite of this. I want the opposite of this. Rage. They only have a Visual Studio Unity just support HTML Core 1. Someone that was trying to get VS from Mac to mobile programming on Unity ended up moving to all Mac. Oh yes, you will run into those problems. Okay, I'm gonna do it the simple way. Here's what we're gonna do. So I was doing a group by, but I'm not gonna do that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna extract this as a method. So extract method. This method is gonna be called foo for now. I seem to be tasked with teaching my friends from time to time some programming because they want to do little things here and there. Yes, C# is much nicer than VB, although VB is a language that a lot of people can understand. Tommy, what are you suggesting? This one. Yeah, there might be some way to do it like that. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually just going to do this. Match results dot select x dot winner name so we're going to say winner names. I'm just going to do this in a simple way. A lot of times you just want to write code the simple way. So we're going to say winner names and loser names, and we're going to say winner and loser. We're going to grab all the names, and then we're going to say winner names union loser names, and I want to distinct on that. So we're going to distinct those two lists. We're going to get two of those, produce a variable, all names. And then what we're going to do is this. We're going to say for each all name, for each name in all names, we are then going to say to make this into a new collection, and we're going to say this. We're going to say all match results. We're going to add range, and the range we're going to add is match results dot where x dot winner name equals name, or x dot loser name equals name. Now this is not the right object type yet, so we want to get the full match result thing. We're going to put it out there. Collection's a terrible name. We're going to call this match results. Then we're going to say match results dot. Oh, whoops! Nope, don't do that name, because that name's already used. We're going to say select new full result, and we're going to to-list it. Inside of here, we're going to do this. We're going to break this out into its own object again, because this is going to get messy if we don't. Oh, hang on. Why is it not like that? Oh, right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say full results bot name equals name. Oh, I meant, whoops, nope, that's wrong. We're adding, no, we're just adding one. We're adding a new full result, and that new full result is, I know how to do the code I'm doing. See? Bot name, name, and match results equals collection. And collection just needed to get to listed then. There we go. Okay. There we go. Alright, what do we got in here? A nice chat box in the corner. Did you come up with it? Angablade, yeah. That's basically, so that the border and everything, that's my chat bot, but that chat box, but that is coming from Streamlabs that's actually putting it in there. So if anyone if one of our regulars stops in and starts messing with the thing that makes it spit back results that don't make sense, yeah, that's not on mine. They're not like hacking my system or something like that. Some people early on were like, "Oh, you're not catching the thing," and I'm like, no, I'm not. It's just the Streamlabs chat box. Oh, well, Angablade, it works fine. Streamlabs is fine. You just need something that does it. Keep in mind, we do use our own chatbot here. Look, it's our chatbot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, nothing to see here. That's nothing. I didn't see anything. Did you? Did you guys see anything? I didn't see anything. What are you talking about? The bot's right here and totally working. Yeah. Nothing happened. Yeah. Look. Totally working bot right here. Totally fine. I see nothing wrong. Yes. Nah, that's a bug in our bot. We know about it. We need to fix it at some point. We just haven't. What the? Okay, let's see. Yeah, Tommy, that's not coming from the bot's not confused by that. Yeah, that's because that's actually from Twitch. That's when the stream started according to Twitch, not from the bot. So bot doesn't get confused by that. So we're saying we're either one of these two listed. Put that in there. I think that will work. I think that'll work. Let's find out. Only one way to find out, right? And that requires that we come back here and we fix whatever this error is first. Var game runner result. So we're going to say game runner result dot bot records, and then this is game runner results dot all match records. Order by name, and then to list it, maybe. Why not? That's not the worst. There we go. That ought to work. Control Shift W. I'm assuming you use OBS. Result dot bot records should be empty, and result dot bot records should be empty. I don't know if those are going to bomb or not, but we'll see. What do you use, Angablade? Keep in mind that Nightbot will yell at you if you try to link something. See? Told you. Oh, nope. Yeah, I don't even get to see your link. Nightbot nuked it. Alright, I need to change that display. That was not the way I wanted it to display. Because I just realized I want one of these for each one. Like I want a new list for each one of these. Wait, what? How? What? Yeah, that wasn't right. Something's broken. Something's broken. I must not have oh, winner. There we go. Rocky all washed up. Paper all washed up. It's like all washed up just loses every time. So there we go. So at least now we can see the basic results of what actually happened. So that will help with that. Welcome, I'm Griefer. I hope you're not actually a griefer. That wouldn't be any fun. Greetings! At least during a programming stream. Okay, so change to full results to show on results page. Sample posting previous. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to use the power of Git. Rock, paper, scissors, boom. And like magic, we're right back to where we were, but we're on the correct branch now, sort of. What branch do we want? Show game results. Let's see. Angerblade, you are saying that you do what now? Oh. Weird. Slaytenbot. Here's how we're going to do that. On show game results, we're going to publish that branch. No, I don't want that one. I want game results. What the son of a kind of fragger. Hang on. Which thing did it put that in? Game Runner? I don't know if any of you saw that. That was... everyone look away for a second. I'm not doing what I'm doing. You definitely didn't see me do that. Whoops. Yes, I did mean to hit 2 dashes. And welcome back, everybody. Nobody saw what I just did right there. Definitely didn't do that. No siree. Definitely didn't do anything. No! What? Why would you guys... What do you mean? No, I committed that right the first time. What are you talking about? I made no mistakes. None. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hang on while I refresh this page. And the code is fine now. Yeah, see? Nothing happening here. Definitely nothing happening. Hey, at least I caught it before I, made the pull request, huh? Show match results. On game results screen. Okay. That's a reasonable pull request right there. Yeah, you guys like the no peeking screen? I like the no peeking screen. It's actually there for like user secrets and stuff like that. If I actually need to modify like OAuth strings or other, you know, secret keys or other stuff like that, so I can toss up a no peeking screen and not worry about accidentally showing something and then having to go change it. But it has other benefits. So, and that's one of them. So, awesome. Okay. So I've got those sitting there. We probably want to review those. So, awesome. I don't know what happened to see the image I whispered to you, but then as a dialog box that pops out when I throw an argument, it's just as a pointer to exploit or something. Oh, okay. Yeah. I like the no peeking screen. It's pretty good. And it has practical uses. Okay, so a couple of things I want to talk to everybody about. For anybody who is new here, welcome. This is Dev Chatter. My name is Brendan, and we do a lot of coding here. We actually do coding 4 times a week. We code on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So 4 times a week we are here writing code on stream on Twitch, and our videos are actually posted on YouTube as well. All the source code that we do on stream, you'll notice I just linked in chat over there, is at github.com/devchatter. And a number of us chat in Discord as well. So I just tossed our Discord link in there for anyone who is interested in continuing the conversation after the stream. A number of us are over there. We chat about things, and especially the people that are doing pull requests into the project. It is a good place to actually chat with us about what changes you want to make. So a lot of people that send us pull requests talk to us about them before they send them in over in Discord. So if you are interested in contributing to the project, maybe do your first open source contribution. If you aren't someone that's super used to it, being able to chat with people about it first makes it a lot easier. So also, if you want to see some of our older code, some of our early videos, especially if you want to see how we build our chatbot, there's 2 places you can find those. The first one is if you're here on Twitch, you can look up at the top of the page. There should be a link for our videos, and that should show you our videos section so you can check out our past videos. You can also go to YouTube to check out our videos there. So Twitch only keeps our videos for a limited amount of time. When Twitch expires them, they should already be on YouTube. So you can find them there as well. If you're on YouTube, hello, welcome. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. And if you're here on Twitch, click the follow button and you'll know when we go live. So Twitch is the best place to actually be here with Dev Chatter because that's where we live stream. And it is much more fun to catch the show live because you can chat with us. Other things I want to mention, I want to thank everybody for following and everything like that. Also, follow us on Twitter, and you can get announcements when we're going to go live there too. So there's a lot of ways to know and interact and get involved with Dev Chatter. I know I mentioned that our bot is built here on stream as well, so if you wanted to contribute to that project, you can also. You'll find that on our GitHub also. Steve ATZ, welcome, thank you for following. And that announcement's about to pop up here, you know, with a thing and some music and some, you know, alert sound playing. There it is. So, welcome, Steve. The other thing that I want to mention to everybody, I want to thank you all for showing up. We had a bunch of followers here, some good discussion, some chatting. We got a reasonable amount of code going. I want to thank C# Fritz for hosting us today. And I think Ed is Due also just hosted us now, so thank you for that. Manporg, thank you for the bit. Very nice. And Steve, yes, I do appreciate it. I'm glad that the stream seems nice. I don't know if you just got here, but I am wrapping up for the day. So I do want to thank everybody for stopping by. And I want to let you all know that in 21 hours, so tomorrow at about 2 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States, and translate to where you are in the rest of the world, and I can tell you that is 6 p.m. UTC, so if you know what your offset is from UTC, you can convert pretty easily. So in Europe, we're online in the evening, and we're on in the morning and early afternoon in the United States. So if you are interested in programming, C# development, you want to write good code, you want to chat with us, you want to talk about programming, this is the place to be, and we will see you tomorrow. Keep in mind that you can take a look down below, and our schedule is also listed there, so that can help you out for figuring out when our schedule is. And you can also take a look at our schedule here. So I posted it in my time zone in chat. Our bot will actually post our schedule if you ask it to, and it will tell you when our stream is. So other than that, thanks everybody for stopping by, and have a wonderful rest of your Monday, however much there is left for where you are in the world. Later.